Dear learners, welcome back to NPTEL online certification course on novel drug delivery system. I am Dr. Satish Dyavanapelli, Assistant Professor at Department of Pharmaceutical Sciences and Technology, Institute of Chemical Technology, Mumbai. In our novel drug delivery system course, we started with the new topic, that is ocular drug delivery systems. In novel drug delivery systems, we have started the new topic, that is ocular drug delivery systems. In that, in our previous lecture, we have discussed on the introduction to ocular drug delivery systems. In that, we have learned what are the ocular dosage forms when compared with the other types of the delivery systems, and we learned the importance of the ocular dosage forms, and we learned some of the ideal characteristics of ocular dosage forms. And then we have focused on anatomy of the eye, and then we have seen the drugs which are used for the treatment of various eye diseases, and later we have seen what are the current challenges with the conventional treatment of ocular dosage forms. And then we have focused on general and manufacturing considerations of ocular delivery systems, and then we started on the advanced ocular drug delivery systems. There we have discussed detailed on the various types of the platforms which comes under the category of the advanced ocular drug delivery systems, which are typically nanotechnology based formulations, implants and microneedles, which all comes into the category of the advanced ocular drug delivery systems. So, today we will discuss the conventional ocular drug delivery systems, which can be classified into the liquid dosage forms and then the semi-solid dosage forms. Now, these can be classified into the conventional, that is the first one, and the second one is the advanced drug delivery systems. So, here in the conventional, we have various types of the solutions which comes under the category of the eye drops. So, here we can use solutions, emulsions and the suspensions which are comes into the topical formulations. The another category which are the injections, we will give the injection to the patient into the intravitreal surface, that is called as intravitreal injections. And the another category, that is advanced drug delivery systems. Here these can be classified into the various classes, that is implants, and these are the preformed implants, in situ implants which will develop the implants after the administration based on the various responses, and then electrospun materials which can be translated further into implants and other type of the advanced drug delivery systems. And also we have a particulate drug delivery systems. Here it can be further classified into polymer drug conjugates, polymer nanoparticles, polymeric nanomuscles, and also the nano and micro emulsions, and neosomes, dendrimers, and the lipid nanoparticles. And then this can also further classify into contact lenses and then microneedles. Here also we have 4 different types of the microneedles, which is nothing but dissolving microneedles, hollow microneedles, and then hydrogel forming microneedles, and then solid microneedles. So today we are going to focus on the conventional drug delivery systems. So here also you can see the further classification of the conventional ocular dosage forms. These are, you can say, the topical formulations, which is nothing but the first thing is the eye drops, or you can say liquid dosage forms, and these are the gels, and the ointments will come under the category of the semi solid dosage forms. So these are the further classified into the solutions, emulsions, suspensions. So today we are going to discuss on the liquid dosage forms as well as the semi solid dosage forms. So now here you can see the liquid dosage forms, which are also known as eye drops, which comes in the 3 categories, that is solution, emulsion, and the suspensions. Yes, as we discussed in our previous class, these are the sterile formulations. We also seen some other parameters also that need to be isotonic, and that pH need to be 7.4, particulate free, right, and minimum requirement of the preservatives. So eye drops are the sterile liquid dosage forms which are used for the treatment of various eye disease conditions. Last week also we have discussed on the various types of the drugs which are used for the treatment of the eye. So glaucoma and inflammatory conditions, some other diabetic retinopathy, such cases we can use the sterile liquid dosage forms. Now we know very well, as when we compare with the oral routes or preferred methods for the administration of the many drugs. Similarly, in the ophthalmic, eye drops or topicals are the most preferred method of the drug administration for many diseases because of the convenience and the relatively the low cost. And here there is no requirement of the medical practitioner for the administration, whereas intravitreal injection you need a practitioner. So they will help for the administration. Now coming to this, it may contain one or more active ingredients, often include preservatives if used in the multi-using containers. So here if you have the formulation which comes in the multiple doses, such cases we add preservatives. Yes, we can go with one or more active ingredients for the treatment of eye diseases. Now here you can see this is the way we need to administer our formulation on the eye surface without touching the opening of the container. So here we can see some of the common eye drops and their usage. So here we can go through. These are the artificial tears we use for the treatment of dry eyeness and also for the eye irritation. Redness relieving drops which contain vasoconstriction drugs which will reduce the redness of the eye, anti-allergy, antibiotics, glaucoma, and the steroid drops. So, these are the various therapeutic applications for such type of the eye drops. So, here we will see some of the classification again in the eye drops. The first classification is that the ophthalmic solutions, right, as we have seen, which are the sterile and clear. They should not contain any type of insoluble foreign particles in the water or in the given medium, right. So, because then only it will be considered as a solutions. All agents need to be solubilized in the given medium. So, there is no particle should be available, even though during the storage if you find, you need to discard such formulations, because which comes from the various sources of the contamination. So, this point is very important, free from insoluble and foreign particles in the water or in the given medium. So, this formulation can be sterilized by using autoclave at 121 degree centigrade, and we can also perform by using the filtration methods. So, yes, there are the limitations of such formulations, because of you are giving simple solution, the loss of drug may happen by the drainage system, right, and the retention time is influenced by the viscosity of the formulation. So, that we need to maintain in our formulation. The viscosity is very important. That is why in our previous classes we have discussed viscosity will help in increment in the retention time. Of course, you cannot expect sustained release, because of these are simple solutions, there is no the controlled release such systems. So, these are the some of the market products. Now, you can see the atropine sulfate 1% ophthalmic solution and the pilocarpine eye drops, which is comes into the as per the Indian pharmacopoeia, that is 2% weight by volume. So, this will be used for the treatment of the glaucoma. So, the second class is that in the liquid dosage form, that is ophthalmic emulsions. So, here these are the biphasic systems which contains the oil phase as well as aqueous phase. So, here we use the emulsifying agents which contains emulsifying agent which will reduce the interfacial tension between the oil as well as aqueous phase. So, these are the biphasic systems which contains the oil phase as well as aqueous phase. If your drug is water soluble, then you need to add in the aqueous phase, and if your drug is water insoluble, you need to disperse your drug in the oil phase. So, most of the cases we prefer these formulations for the poorly insoluble drugs. So, when you want to go from solutions to emulsions, if your drug is not soluble and you want to make an eye formulation and your solution is not possible, then you can shift it to ophthalmic emulsions, which can help to improve the solubility of the drug. That definitely will help in the bioavailability, and yes, because you are completely solubilizing the drug, so patient the compliance will increase. So, this is the one of the marketed product, that is Restasis, which is the first cyclosporin oil in water emulsion, which is approved by the FDA for the treatment of dry eye disease. So, this it works as an immunosuppressive agent, and which formulated by using the polysorbate 8 as an emulsifier and also 0.5 mg per ml of the castor oil. So, you can see the picture how the emulsion will looks. So, the oil globules are dispersed in the water medium in presence of surfactants, emulsifying agents. So, this is the product, and here you can see the drug name, and also here is the one more product which will help for the post operative inflammation. So, this also comes in the emulsion. So, the third category is ophthalmic solutions. So, as we know that the emulsions are the biphasic system, similarly suspensions also the biphasic, or you can say the heterogeneous mixtures which contains the solid particles are dispersed in the liquid or gas medium. Now, we are going from the clear solution to the emulsions which contain the oil globules, and further we are going to the advanced system which are the solid particles which are dispersed in a liquid or gas mediums. So, these suspensions are preferable for the water insoluble drugs. The second thing that which is the drugs which are unstable in the solution formats, and when you want to convert into the stable format. So, here we can use suspensions, and from this we can also expect the sustained release, because of here you use various types of the suspending agents which will sustain the release compared with the solutions as well as emulsions. And definitely the stability and the bioavailability efficacy of the drugs are very high compared with the solutions. So, here this suspension can use 95% to more than of the particles, and the diameter should be 10 micrometer or less than that of the 10 micrometer. Now, here you can see in the picture representation. So, these solutions are very clear. In previous slide we have seen the emulsion picture also. Now, here you can see the suspension, the property is nothing but your particle need to be suspended in the solution. That means, here we add some flocculating agents, your particle will remain sustained, or you remain suspended in the medium. So, this is not good property for the suspension. Your material should not be settled at the bottom. So, we do not need aggregation and cake formation in the suspensions. So, these are the two market products which comes in the suspensions, and here also you can see the prednisolone, that is a steroidal molecule we can use for the treatment of the anti-inflammatory for the eye diseases. Now, the critical point in the suspension is that the particle side distribution is very important, because that is going to play a major role in the stability as well as the dissolution properties of the product, that may leads to affect the bioavailability as well. This already we have discussed. The particle size should be below 10 micrometer. The upper end of the distribution is generally less than 25 micron to avoid causing the eye irritation. If the particle size is big, more than 25, the preferable is 10 micron, and if you go more than 25, that leads to the eye irritation. So, that particle size distribution need to be maintained for the ophthalmic suspensions. Now, here the summary of the liquid dosage forms. Now, here we can see the all type of the advantages as well as disadvantage. Here is the various types of the eye drops, and here is the advantages, and here are the disadvantages. Yes, as we discussed, it is a convenience, usually do not interfere the vision of the patient because it is a clear, right. So, here the problem is the rapid precorneal elimination, one of the major limitation, and you will not get any sustained effect to be administered frequently, because of you will see the removal or the drainage from the eye. Emulsions compared with the solutions, this will show the prolonged release effect, but the problem is because of that globules it leads to the blurred vision. The same problem also with the suspensions. So, patient complaints can be improved because of control release, and yes, you will get a slow release, longer contact time because of the particles which may adhere to the mucous membranes of the eye. So, drug properties decides the performance loss of both solution and suspended particles. So, the drug properties are very important, need to be converted into the suspensions. Irritation potential due to the particle size of the drug, and not only that, there are the lot of instability issues that leads to the aggregation of the suspensions. Now, here these are the some of the few modifications we need to perform while developing the formulation. These already few parameters we have discussed in our previous session also. So, here is the modification of liquid dosage forms. We need to maintain the isotonicity by using tonicity adjusting agents, which are example sodium chloride, KCl, dextrose, glycerin, propylene glycol and mannitol. These are most commonly used the tonicity adjusting agents. So, nothing but here the tear fluid is isotonic with the blood, nothing but the solute concentration of the tear fluid is equal to the plasma. So, similarly, your ophthalmic formulation also need to be isotonic to the tear fluid, nothing but to the blood. So, the solute concentration that will maintain the osmotic pressure for the survival of the cells. So, that need to be formulated, that should be isotonic with tears to prevent the irritation and discomfort. So, how this irritation and discomfort will come? Now, you can see here in the isotonic solutions, if you have same solute concentration, if the consider this is your the medium and here are the RBC. So, if it is the same concentration, you will see there is no exchange in this. So, that is need to be balanced, you do not see any exchange, whereas hypertonic leads to the shrinkage because of the outside the concentration is solute concentration is very high compared to cell. So, what happened? So, as per the osmosis principle, your water will move from low to high. So, that is why you will see the shrinkage, and whereas the hypotonic, so it happens completely opposite to the hypertonic. Hypotonic, you have a solute concentration outside. So, as per the osmosis, your solute will maintain the equal balance. So, for that this will move from the low concentration to high concentration. So, here is the low outside and the inside cell is the very high. So, it is moving from low to high. So, that leads to the hemolysis, and this is shrinkage, right. So, to avoid this, we need to provide isotonic solutions. Now, pH adjustment we have discussed already. So, these are the 7.4 pH we need to maintain accordingly. For that, we can use various types of the buffers also, phosphate and citrate and borate HCl. So, here we use buffers to maintain the pH. So, yes, when use the various buffers, that will improve the stability, also reduce the eye irritation. There are the drugs which they are solubilized in particular pH condition, from that also we can enhance solubility as well as bioavailability. Maximize preservative effectiveness, there are the drugs which are the active at that particular pH. So, there are the preservatives also which are effective in that particular pH. So, use low buffer capacity to allow tear fluid and to restore natural pH. The third one is the vehicles. Here we can use either aqueous or the non-aqueous systems. So, here you can use water for injection, which are nothing but epirogenic water. That means we remove the pyrogen by using these techniques to solubilize your medicine. And non-aqueous, if a drug is water insoluble, we can use oils which we can solubilize the drugs, and there are the drugs which are water sensitive, moisture sensitive, that can also use it. So, here these are the few types of the oils: castor oil, olive oil, corn oil and squalene oil, sesame oils, which can be used as an examples for the non-aqueous vehicles. So, these are the stabilizers. So, we use stabilizers to stabilize the formulations. There are the drugs undergo the degradation. Such cases we can use sodium bisulfate and sodium metasulfate within the less concentration. Also antioxidant which prevent the oxidation mechanism, ascorbic acid, vitamin C and the alpha tocopherol, vitamin E, which is also used as a, like when you want to maintain the oil formulations, alpha tocopherol is the preferable. We will also use surfactants which will help in the solubilization as well as to stabilize the formulations. We have three different type of surfactants: anionic, cationic, non-ionic. So, non-ionics are the most preferable and safe because the cationic and anionic will show the highest toxicity in the within the body. So, always non-ionic surfactants preferable. Twin 20, twin 80 are the safest and the commonly used surfactants. These we use in the various formulations. Viscosity imparting agents, as we discussed, viscosity will help in the retention time and that will help for the longer time to retain with the eye surface, and then it will help for the high drug absorption. These are the polymers we can use which will help in the improvement in the viscosity: polyvinyl alcohol, methyl cellulose, hydroxypropyl methyl cellulose and the carbomers. Yes, when you use, you will see lot of blurred vision and also it may form dry film on the surface and difficult to filter when you want to filter the formulations. Now, these are the some packaging systems. We can use LDPE plastic bottles. Yes, with this we will get a lower contamination, which are lightweight and the cost effective. And yes, these are hard resins. We can use caps also, we can make the caps also. Also, this we can do the sterilization by using ethylene oxide and as well as gamma radiation. So, here there are the special packaging systems. So, here we can use some propylene bottles which can be sterilized, which not possible with the plastic containers LDPE. So, propylene containers can be sterilized by using the autoclave. We can also use glass bottles whenever you want to do the freeze drying products, that can be sterilized by using the autoclave other dry heating systems. So, here we have some of the semi solid dosage forms. So, here these are the some advantages compared with the liquid dosage forms, because so these semi solids will have a longer contact time and have the greater storage stability, flexibility in drug choice. We can convert in different dosage forms and the stability also can be improved. Yes, as we discussed, the blurred vision, poor patient compliance and sticking is the one of the major problem. Here we have two different formulations. One is the ophthalmic gels. Here we use the polymers, we convert the drugs and our excipients into the gels. So, the retention time will be very high, that will improve the bioavailability. So, most commonly we use this formulation for the dry eye treatment as well as we use as in a lubricants, antibacterial gels, anti-inflammatory gels. So, these are the few examples: carbomer, that is carbopol, as well as hyaluronic acid. This will help in the functions. These are the few examples, that is the lacrifone gel and another one is the ganciclovir gel. So, these are available in the market. Now, here is the ointments, the definition of the ointments. These are the semi solid preparation which are sterile. Yes, they have the highest contact time compared with the other formulations. This we need to administer in the eye, and here we help for the infections, also for the dry eyes and other diseased conditions. Here the two major components are very important, that is mineral oils as well as petrolatum bases that will melt or soften at body temperature. This principle is very important, and later it will break into small drops, and further it will contact with the conjunctival sac that leads to the better absorption. So, major limitation is that blurred vision, poor patient compliance. The chloramphenicol eye ointment, also hydrocortisone acetate will use as an ophthalmic ointments. So, here are the few packaging systems. We can use aluminum collapsible tubes, LDP plastic tubes, and also we can prepare the screws, which are very important, that caps can be made with the polyethylene and polypropylene. Here the one major concern, we need to focus on the source of the metal particles which may enter into your formulation, that need to be avoided. So, that should be cleaned and before the sterilization by using autoclaving or the ethylene oxide. So, with this we will going to stop the today's lecture. So, today we have learned on the two major components, that is in the conventional ocular dosage forms, we learn the liquid dosage forms, again in the liquid dosage forms, which is the classified into the ophthalmic solutions, ophthalmic emulsions and the ophthalmic suspensions. And then in the semi solids we have seen the ophthalmic gels as well as ophthalmic ointments. So, with this we are going to stop today's lecture. In our upcoming class we are going to discuss on other novel ocular drug delivery systems. Thank you so much.